It's 7 p.m. at the border between Pakistan and India.
This is the only checkpoint on a border that stretches for about 1,200 miles.
Every evening, it's the same ritual. With cheering crowds, the national flag is lowered.
Well, I know this looks like a crazy football match or something, but this is a very different game altogether. It's more like a cockfight.
On one side, the Pakistani border guards. And on the other, Indian soldiers. For the past 40 years, the challenge has been the same: to strike fear and awe in each other.
Between India and Pakistan, things have been getting better now. But the real trouble is what's going on inside Pakistan that gets everyone nervous. So right now we can go see what Pakistan is today, and I can tell you it's going to break a whole bunch of stereotypes. What is your name? Diego. 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 Diego.
Welcome to a country that has the whole world on edge. The only country pieced together to greet some of Islam's faithful. In 1947, British colonial rule comes to an end. The English beat a hasty retreat, and to avoid civil war between Hindus and Muslims, the UN creates Pakistan. Needless to say that in Pakistan, Muhammad's precepts are not taken lightly. But as we'll see, sometimes it's okay to bend the rules.
So if there's a word that almost no one knew before 9/11 and that everyone knows now, it has to be the word madrasa. There's about 12,000 of these Quranic schools here in Pakistan. We're coming up to one of the most famous ones, the madrasa for the superstars. That's where Osama bin Laden was and Mullah Omar. But let's go and see what madrasas really are today in the post-9/11 world.
The Buñuel Madrasa. It's a kind of Muslim Harvard. Students from around the world come here to learn the Quran by heart.
One of the big questions also that everyone has when they see a madrasa is why the movement like that? Does that help to learn, or why do they do that?
Like normally in Pakistan it's like that. Well, in other countries it's not like that. But the movement is like, you know, they don't get to sleep. That's why.
Oh, so they don't fall asleep?
Yeah, that's why. That's the thing.
Oh, that's the thing. That's a great explanation.
Yeah.
You have to move like this so you don't fall asleep.
Yeah. Well, in Arabs the Arabs they don't like it.
Arabs don't like it. Yeah.
Don't like it. While we're reciting the Quran, you move. They don't like this thing.
No.
5,000 students between the ages of 5 and 18 study here. But the ones hiding behind the holy book are usually Americans.
For real. But I can't talk about this stuff.
So the problem is that a lot of students here don't want to speak to us. Some of them are American, and well, we can understand why, because with the situation in the U.S. right now, it's hard to, actually say I'm at a madrasa, and one of them is leaving now.
When they go back to their countries, the immigration people, they like waiting for like 7-8 hours, mostly, normally, what I've heard. Like when they go over there, they like ask them questions about, well, why do you choosing Pakistan, or why are you choosing all these countries? Why don't you study over like other countries, like other than Pakistan?
Yeah.
My young guide comes from Saudi Arabia. He studied at the American high school in Riyadh, and when it comes to Islam, his faith is boundless. So tell me, how many chapters are there in the Quran?
I don't think, I'm not sure, maybe 30 parts, like 30 chapters you can say.
30?
Yeah.
And in a year and a half, they memorize every chapter?
Most of, I've heard like in 6 months too, they've memorized it.
But I mean, most of them don't speak Arabic, so how can you memorize a language you don't know?
No, first story, it's like a miracle, because the book, Quran, is a miracle. How come, a person, a 6-year-old or a 7-year-old can memorize 30 paras, a whole book?
Really? That's crazy.
So this is a miracle, the Quran himself is a miracle.
The entire madrasa is under constant video surveillance. The slightest mistake, the smallest breach, leads straight to the office of Mufti Naheem. He is both warden and spiritual leader of this Quranic school.
Hello. Bapali sahab, मैं एक मिनट अभी करता हूँ आपको. जी, नूरमन साहब. ये ना
the multimedia mufti.
आप बैठ जाए, नूरमन साहब, मैं आपको देता हूँ इख्तियार, बैठ के तय करें आप. मैं अभी गुलाम रसूल को कह देता हूँ.
It seems.
Hello? I'll call you later.
Well, why all these cameras?
Since I'm the head of the school, and I can't be in several places at the same time, I take advantage of Western technology and inventions.
Hello.
Look, from here I can see everything. The whole school. This is our main mosque, this is the madrasa's restaurant, and these are the street views. After 9/11, the entire world's propaganda said that it was in our school that terrorists, kamikazes, were being produced. It'd be better if you took a look for yourself. Propaganda says that there are Kalashnikovs here and that kamikazes are trained on the premises. But you can ask our boys where the guns are, in which closet we keep them. They'll show you. We have nothing.
Well, I didn't see any Kalashnikov, but I've never seen this many screens and telephones.
In the school's courtyard, an internet madrasa, open to those not lucky enough to study here, but who still seek answers to the 1,001 questions that will help them become a good Muslim.
This is like the religious internet hotline or something. They write in from around the world different, religious questions, but they tell me that one of the most frequently asked is about, love questions, basically. So we can see if we can get some info. So they get about 4,000 requests every month, and 60% of this is about the most important question, right? Okay. So, for instance, this one here, they asked me, can you please let me know the dates of do's and don'ts to make love and sexual intercourse? That's what they're saying. What's the answer, basically?
On this specific request, the exact question is this: can one make love during the menstrual period, and that according to Sharia law? And is the week after the period is over the best time to conceive a child? We get a lot of questions concerning illicit relationships between men and women, either before or after marriage. We usually have no difficulty answering these questions.
So here's another interesting question. Marriage, is masturbation allowed in Islam? A few minutes away from the neighborhood mosque, a sewing factory where some 50 practicing Muslim women work for the Qadir brothers. At first glance, the setup doesn't seem very Muslim to me. I'm tempted to turn the brothers in to Mufti Naim. S&M gear for sex shops of Europe and America are made here. This business brings in over $1 million a year.
Hundreds of people's Monday.
Nice,
And
nice.
this is the mosque, and you can see everything here.
Amazing. So, but I mean, come on, this is a little bit of cultural revolution for you guys also, to be able to do this in
Yes.
Pakistan. I mean,
Yes.
yeah.
We just started. We are the first one in Pakistan.
Pakistan who introduced such things here. I mean, the manufacturing.
So show me a little bit. What's
The straight jacket.
The street jacket. It's called the street jacket. I think you heard
Maybe you
about
can
this?
try it.
No, it's a
I'll
street
try it.
jacket.
I'll try it. Okay. Well, I must say I've never done this before on a story. Okay. It's a bondage, right?
You have bondage bags also?
Bondage bags?
Yes.
Oh, you put people in bags?
Yes. It's
What is that?
slave sex. About it. Do we have?
How do you get your references? How do you find your models? How do you know what's the new trend? I mean, this is really...
He went to the dungeons in UK.
Oh, in UK?
He has seen the things right there. He has discussed with mistresses.
But honestly, the first time that you went to a dungeon or something, how did you...
It was scary.
It's scary.
Because I was never used to it, and because in this part of our world, you cannot see things like that. And there are a lot of mistresses are now our customers in the US and in the UK. The professional mistresses are our clients. They buy things from us and they sell to their customers.
To their customers.
These are the mitts.
Oh, yeah.
And these are the party masks, fetish party masks.
Fetish party.
Cat mask. And this is some exclusive product, the dog hood.
The dog hood.
With a gag.
We will give you for souvenirs.
Oh, and you put it, that goes on a dog? Oh, no, it goes on.
It's a role play.
Role play.
It's a role play.
play. Yeah.
So this is not for dogs, it's for people.
It's for
Yes,
people.
it's for people.
It's for people.
But was it difficult to get women to Pakistan to work like this on these products?
No, not at all. Not at all. Yes. Not at all.
No, but to work on these products, were they not shocked or?
But they don't know actually. I think that they are used in sex products.
The thing is, they just come and just make the thing.
Make the
Yeah,
thing.
leave what is making.
Because they are interested in their I mean.
As long as they are not
their
using it, so they leave for them.
They are live for
As long as they don't use it.
It's a difficult, good answer.
Good. So, I mean, you guys are Muslim, right?
Yes.
Is this like not against your principles or something?
No, it's not our against principles. It's our work. We got the orders from abroad and we just make it.
But here in Pakistan, religion has a very strong presence or weight, no?
Yes, but as far as my knowledge of religion is concerned, no religion in the world just stops someone in
Doing
making
business.
something.
In making something,
It's like
manufacturing
it's our
something.
business. It's just a bread and butter for everybody.
Karachi's beaches. Miles and miles of beaches. So it's not really Cancun, even if families flock together to enjoy the surf. But at night, if you know where to go, things can start looking like Malibu Beach.
Okay, listen, guys. It's a Saturday night in Karachi, and basically when you're 20 years old and you want to party, you come to this place. We're on the edge of the ocean. It's about 85 degrees, but you can't really party in the city. You know, you can't really drink alcohol or mingle with women as much as you would want to. So anyway, this is where people come, right here.
After the hanky-spanky, the whiskey flows easy. Clearly, we're far from Pakistan's age-old cliches.
Alcohol.
Wait. Pakistan, huh?
Pakistan! I thought that like alcohol was banned here in Pakistan.
Yeah, well, unfortunately, at a state level, at public level, we don't want to. You know, the problem in Pakistan is democracy. So it was all right to do whatever you do in your house, but you know you can't sort of go out and be your normal self. So that's what gave birth to the holier than thou syndrome. So everybody had to prove to others that we are holier than you. So I think, yeah, as I said, Pakistan rocks.
Pakistan rocks. So this is quite amazing to be like dancing and girls without any burqas or anything. I mean,
that's what I'm saying now. That this is the wrong perception that we all are Taliban and ninjas. It's not like that.
It's not like that. Yeah. But I mean, I could never imagine that coming to Pakistan. You know, they'd be young people.
It's a cultural shock.
It's a cultural shock for me. Yeah.
By the way, my new buddy at this party is Ali, and he knows all the tricks.
How do you do it? What's your secret? What do you do for a living?
Well, I work for television. I'm like you, absolutely like you.
Can I come and see one of your shows?
You don't have to ask, darling. You're in Pakistan.
I can just do it?
You can just do it. Just come anytime you like.
The next day, I show up. And sure enough, so does Ali, but with a better shave. Welcome to the Begum Ali Show. Contrary to what you may think, this isn't a comedy program. It's Pakistan's favorite political show. The guests are serious, and the questions even more so. Ali's got 30 million viewers, ratings to die for.
My first guest really is an accomplished lady.
You being a deputy, would you please explain to me the difference between the Parliament now and as it was 20 years ago? What has changed?
God, this is absolutely amazing, Madame.
And that's Diego.
But this is just amazing that on Pakistani TV you have a man dressed as a woman who does the interviews.
Yes,
I mean, how?
Yes. Actually, I think we're a very understanding society. And people in the world that look at Pakistan tend to have very stereotyped images of us.
Mm-hmm. I mean, when you think of Pakistan, you think of mullahs, you think of Taliban, you think of these things. I mean, you don't think of a woman, you know, I mean, a man dressed as a woman presenting a TV show on all of national television, no?
And it's a very popular show as well.
Lately, Ali's been practicing in hopes of one day interviewing France's new glamorous First Lady.
Carla Bruni.
Over the years, Ali has received a who's who of Pakistan's elite. From business leaders to movie stars, Ali's interviewed them all. But were you ever afraid for your life? Were you ever afraid that the mullahs would come after you? Were you ever afraid?
Diego, I love your name, by the way. When I started my show, I had many people call me up, old friends, who called and said, "Are you crazy?" Ali, of course, they remember me by my
your real name.
So they called me and they said, "Ali, are you crazy? Have you forgotten that you live in a country called Pakistan? These people will not let you live here. You will not be able to walk out of your house. People will make fun of you. People will, and of course, these were people who were concerned about my security."
So, are you defending the rights of women, of gays, of men? What are you helping to do here?
Actually, I think all these, lovely words that you've invented in the West, words like homosexuals or gays or straights or this or that and all, they're not applicable in my country, in my society. Because the problems here are much, much different. Nobody's worried about gay rights in Pakistan. Nobody's worried about lesbian rights in Pakistan. The problem in Pakistan is that every year thousands and thousands of people die in terrorist attacks, in suicide bombings, and things like that. There's price hike, there's lack of education. So our issues are much, much larger. We don't have the luxury to go into such minute little things.
Well, listen, it was an absolute pleasure.
Thank you so much.
Really, good luck with it.
We must have dinner together now.
Absolutely, let's go have dinner. Okay, cut. We're having dinner together.
Listen, was I looking for that? I hope you... Okay, come.
Province of Sindh, a small group of Pakistani politicians and military officers keep more than 1.5 million farmers in bonded slavery. So when your luck is bad enough to be born here, you hope that one day you'll cross paths with this small ambulance. In the van, a former cop and a doctor, Pakistan's Abraham Lincolns, two brave men, two courageous ones who single-handedly are defying some of the country's most powerful men. Instead of giving me a long explanation, my new friends point out one example on the side of the road. Meet Zafar.
Since last 12 years he is working over here.
12 years, huh?
Yeah.
And has he gotten any salary in those 12 years?
No salary. So here you can see the exploitation. These kids, this man, his wife, and all the family, they all are working all the day from dawn to dusk. You can see that the food they are taking, that is not full of nutrients.
Full of nutrients.
Yeah.
For example, how old is this child?
This may be of 10 years.
He's 10 years old.
Yeah. And he looks like of 5, 6.
Yeah, 5, 6 years old. Yeah.
Just like they lock up cattle in a stable, we're in the same situation. We'd like to go elsewhere. The owners told us that we cannot leave. We're not allowed to leave. To do what? Go where? We have no money, no education. There's no future for us. We can only count on God and hopefully your organization.
So to give back freedom and dignity to these enslaved women and men, Dr. Hyder and Officer Sheikh buy them back from their captors and set them up in villages built for them by a German NGO. There are 4 such villages in the province. The one they take me to is the most recent one.
Here, Mr. Nanji, he is the village elder.
Oh, hello. Yes. And how many people are there in this village now? How many?
At the moment, there are 130 families, if we count the families who've just been freed. That's 13 additional families.
He nanji je chokre jo gara nyane. Owner of this home.
This is very beautiful, huh? All the
it is traditional.
Traditional, yeah. What does it mean? All these
the bangles below this knee.
Yeah.
Those who are unmarried, they can wear below them.
Only below, yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
But the full bangles, they are the married ones.
Married ones.
All that mattered to the landlords was that we finished the work. Even if one of us was sick enough to die, we had to finish working before we could get help.
Even if someone died, they made us finish the job before burying them.
When they see a young girl from a poor family like ours, they molest her. When there's a wedding, the landlords often take the brides home with them and force them to spend the night. That's oppression.
If the owner showed up here, face to face with me, I'd hit him really hard. The way he beat me, the way he oppressed me and my children, I'd do the same thing back to him.
She seems like she's the strong woman. She's the fighter, right? If she sees the landlord, she's going to beat him up. Handshake.
She's my student.
Yeah, she's your student.
Handshake.
It's like being like in 1,001 nights in this place.
If you haven't seen Lahore, you haven't seen anything.
Well, as you can see, Lahore is the city that never sleeps, and anything goes around here. And we're going to go meet, a real special kind of resident in Lahore. They're called hijras. They're not men. They're not women. They're hijras.
To be hijra in Pakistan is like walking fully clothed at a nudist colony. It's asking for trouble. Everyone looks at you and everyone despises you. These boys turned girls are a hodgepodge of society's unwanted. Hermaphrodites, transgenders, castrates, and also children who've been sold by their families. All of them have learned to embrace their womanhood with the help of an elder. They live with her as a family their whole life.
I'm going to have to explain this to my girlfriend.
The government used to employ them as village tax collectors. Today they dance at weddings and bless children, but people pay them more to get rid of them than out of compassion.
Come out, we'll dance for you.
Well, what they're actually doing is that they go through the streets and they call out to people to ask them if they want them to dance for them. But here, most women are covered usually, and so you wear a lot of makeup, and you're undressed. So
if I didn't dress this way, no one would give me any money. Look, I have to wear short sleeves. I have to show my cleavage. That's what I have to do. It's a very difficult life I have here.
If other hijras show up here in our neighborhood, we have to show them who's the boss.
Oh, yes, we get into arguments all the time whenever they come here.
We don't let any of them come and beg here. We grew up here. We can't just let anyone come in and take our livelihood.
You fight? You fight?
Of course. I'll break their legs.
May God on his throne give you many sons so that I can come back here.
In the family, when a son is born, we celebrate and invite hijras.
Do they bring good luck to the future of the baby or what?
Yeah, and we give them alms as well, for health and long life. The prayers of the hijras are answered faster, more quickly.
Okay, Khadafiz.
Khada Hafiz. Khada Hafiz.
The following day, I have a meeting with Musrat Misbah, the owner of Pakistan's largest chain of beauty salons. Once inside, you could be in London, Paris, or New York. I mean, the clientele, the models, the products, everything is top-notch. But the hairdressers and makeup artists are special. They've all been disfigured by acid thrown at them by a husband, a father, or a brother.
What is this place?
This is our salon. This is where my girls are working. These are the girls who had the intentional acid throwing on them, or they were burnt. So they are now working.
So girls will be picked up and then they come and work for you, right?
Yes. I mean, this is what they want to become. They wanted to become beauticians and hairdresser. So Sarah is one good hairdresser. And then, she's very popular amongst the client now.
Sarah went through 18 operations before working here.
I remember it was a Wednesday in 2003. My fiancé came to the house in the afternoon, and I was home alone. He asked me to go for a walk with him. I told him I wouldn't leave the house without my parents' permission. After seeing that I wouldn't go out with him alone, he asked me for a drink of water, so I went to the kitchen to get him some. When I came back, he threw acid in my face. I started screaming. The pain was unbearable. My neighbors took me to the emergency room right away, and I received treatments there for 2 years. For the past 3 years, I've been getting treatments thanks to Musrat. She sent me to Italy to train as a beautician, and I stayed there 3 months, and I also received training as a hairdresser and massage therapist. I've already been working for a year here at Depolex.
And so how did you get the idea of doing all this? How did it start?
It just happened one day. There was this girl who came in and
Your salon?
In my salon, and she was wearing a veil. So she said, "I need your help," and I said, "Okay." I said, "What can I do?" And she, unveiled herself. And I was standing, and I thought, there's no life in my legs. I sat down because I saw a woman without a face. I saw this young girl who had nothing on her face. I said, okay, all right. I said, yeah, I will definitely help you. The next thing that I did was to place a little advertisement in the newspaper saying that if you are an acid or kerosene burn victim, get in touch with any of my salons. And they came from all over the country. And I thought to myself, how would I help them? How will I be able to do surgeries for them. So I got in touch with the Italian organization, which was already helping in Bangladesh.
Got things together, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, this is not just happening in Pakistan.
Since then, 232 women have walked in her salons.
Here at Deplex, no one has ever made me feel that I was not beautiful. I've never felt any different from the others. I'm absolutely normal, and I also am beautiful. Thanks to Maserat, we are completely normal and able to have a social life just like anyone.
It's a very good answer.
Yes.
She's very confident.
She's very confident.
Very, very confident. And like she said that, she can face society just like all of us can.
Yeah, because she has the tools to do it.
Yeah, she has the skill, she has the courage, she has the determination, and she knows that smile again is always there.
Nawal will need all the courage she can get. At 22, she was to become an air hostess. Her husband couldn't tolerate it. Musarrat wanted me to visit her in the hospital.
Inshallah. Kyun nahi? She doesn't want her children to see her
that way.
So, she wants to just get better at. When she was burnt, she won't let her children come near her. Even we won't like the children to see her in this condition.
Yes, of course.
Because that gives a very, difficult
the children
for the
don't
children.
even recognize their mother?
No. So जरा थोड़ा सा smile तो कर दे. सो जाओ. Yeah, she's saying just send me abroad. Send me somewhere where they can just, bring me back to my normal self.
And was the father arrested?
No. There's a little problem because it's a family. It's a family feud. The husband has done it. So most of the time, the husband would ask for forgiveness.
So, this is absolutely crazy. I used to ski in the Alps, but here we're at a completely different ballgame. We're talking about mountains that are 6,000, 7,000, 8,000 meters high. And Pakistan has 4 of the 5 highest mountains in the world. 1 more minute, sir. Okay, that's fine. We have one minute. Yeah. We just landed in Skardu. We're at 7,000 feet, more or less. Beautiful day, a little less oxygen here. But my favorite thing here at the airport is a little welcoming sign for the tourist.
Before the explosions of the Twin Towers, before the London attacks, basically before Al-Qaeda made the world tremble, this region was paradise for long-distance travelers.
No wonder they can't find bin Laden. Look at this place. This guy is going full speed. Man, I don't know how he does it, but I'm left in the dust here. I'm coming. So this has to be one of the most gorgeous places I've ever gotten to see on Earth. And it's a real shame because this place has been taken hostage. Basically, there are no more tourists that come here. And this place was, in the 80s, one of the biggest tourist attractions of Pakistan. But down in this valley are Taliban. On this side is Kashmir, where it's fighting with India. And over there is the border with Afghanistan. And it's a real shame that this is happening because this place deserves better, deserves more. And these people are taken, as I said, hostage by the situation.
Take the Shangri-La, for example, a 5-star hotel nestled on the shores of a mountain lake. It provided a livelihood for the entire valley. No one comes here anymore, much to the despair of its manager, Mr. Khan, who's had to lay off 3/4 of the staff.
And so, who are some of the famous people that came here?
We were all kinds. Well, starting from the Aga Khan and all the presidents, our present presidents.
Musharraf, all the
Prime
Pakistan,
Ministers,
yeah.
everybody comes and stays here.
And stays here?
Nights.
Uh-huh.
Benazir was here.
Benazir Bhutto was here?
Yeah. And the president stays there, Musharraf, that's his room on the right.
That's his room on the right over there?
Yeah, the green one.
Okay.
Summer residence.
Summer residence.
One night.
It's like rowing in Central Park, just better.
Bande ki kya?
No, this is like, it's like Switzerland on steroids or something.
On steroids, that's right. Correct.
So, what happened after 9/11?
Most of our hotels were about to close.
Mm-hmm.
Not only the hotels, the tour operators, they did not get any business.
Mm-hmm.
So they're thinking twice now what to do.
Mm-hmm.
So we pack up and go into something else because there was no income coming in from the foreign tourists. But the people don't, first of all, know about Pakistan.
Yeah.
Is it India?
Yeah.
Is it Pakistan?
Yeah.
And what is Pakistan?
Uh-huh.
Mullahs or Taliban or tourism, which is not, which is absolutely incorrect. There's a certain part of Pakistan where these problems are going on.
Uh-huh.
It is not the whole of Pakistan.
The whole of Pakistan. So, what about security? Because when people think, oh, you're going to Pakistan, like my mother, for example, she's like, oh my God, my son,
where are you going?
Where are you going? You know?
No. It is safe, it's safe. It's certain areas of the northwest frontier province linked to Afghanistan where the problems are.
Yeah.
Trying to resolve them by sitting and having jirgas. They're called jirga.
Negotiations.
But northern areas are the safest.
Yeah.
Never heard of any crime. No murders, no robberies, nothing here.
Nothing, yeah.
So it's very,
so
very
it
safe.
must be frustrating to have a very safe place and people
And
thinking
people
that
don't
it's...
think the other way around.
Yeah.
Absolutely. You're right. What about photo city colors also? We'll just come in.
Yeah. And so you never had any threats either from mullahs or something saying you have Westerners here and so on and so forth?
No, they're depending on us. They know exactly. They've started cable TV now.
Yeah.
The mullahs are watching them.
So there's an evolution also.
There is an evolution, yes. Definitely.
From the mullahs.
Definitely.
And above all, behold what it was that made this region a truly unique place on earth.
Always with a lot of grace, my movements. Well, I'm too heavy. Well, so we're here on some random hill of the Himalayas, and I can barely breathe. What's the altitude here?
Yeah, 4,800.
4,800 meters. It's the height of the Mont Blanc in Europe. It's the tallest mountain of Europe. Well, what's the highest point you've ever been?
8,000.
8,000 meters. 8,000. Damn, 8,000. So my friends here are high altitude porters, guides in the Pakistani Himalayas. Unfortunately, in these past few years, they haven't had too much luck with tourists.
Grab that.
So before 9/11, more business, no?
Yeah, many tourists.
Many tourists, yeah. But it must be frustrating to be training for so many years to go up in the mountains and not have business anymore.
Yeah, before we get, we are special training we get, and then many courses we join for become a good guide and mountaineer. After 2011,
yeah,
it's the tourist ratio go down, and we jobless,
huh?
And no job, and we are worried about
the future.
The future.
Yeah.
Very good.
You teach me, good teacher. That's very beautiful, yeah?
Very nice mountain, highest mountain, very nice snow, altitude. I wish more people come here.
And visit, yeah.
See here.
Okay, guys, this is the end of the trip, the end of the line in Pakistan. Can barely think without the oxygen. Hope you enjoyed it, and see you in another country soon. Bye-bye. Now we have to go down. Ce que je ferais pas pour être à la télé.
That's
Well, thank you very much. Thank you for your time.